Hi there. Today I am going to have story time. Today I'm going to touch on one of the hardest and a little crazy sales that we've ever done. This was back in 2017. We list bank-owned properties and HUD properties, as many of you know. If you don't know, we got into the bank-owned experience back in 2015. And we started listing for different banks and then got plugged in with Housing and Urban Development and their bank-owned properties. The difference between the two, Housing and Urban Development, are any government-backed loans that have been defaulted on go back to HUD, and so we list for HUD, as opposed to private banks. They are obviously any private loans that have been defaulted on get listed by the private banks, and we are agents for them as well. So that being said, we had a property that was listed by a private bank, and it was a piece of land. It was a very small parcel, relatively, down in the Dansville area, a little over an acre, and there had been a mobile on it, but it was in condemned condition. It was being demoed and removed from the property. And so the bank asked us if they could donate it to, like, Habitat for Humanity. A lot of times, if a property is in that rough condition, we will reach out to the local municipalities, Habitat for Humanity, and ask if they would like this donated property. We reached out to them, and nobody wanted the donated property, the property that could be donated. So the bank asked, and we recommended if we could reach out to the neighboring landowners, because we thought, hey, maybe one of these landowners that about this property want an additional acre, and the bank is willing to give it to them for free. So you can imagine, if you are a homeowner, getting a call from a local real estate brokerage asking you if you would like a free parcel of land right next to your property. It absolutely comes off as a complete scam for most people. So there was a lot of skepticism from these poor property owners who were just trying to figure out what was going on. And we had to go through the ringer to verify, confirm, and get them to believe what we were telling them. Two of them decided that it was not a good fit. I think one of them was still skeptical and thought that something might go terribly wrong. And finally, one of the other property owners that was abutting the property was like, hey, what can I possibly lose? There wasn't any deposit required or anything like that. It was just, here's the paperwork. So after, I think it was 3 weeks, it was about 22 days, we got everything done. We had them sign. We met with them a couple times to get all the signatures taken care of, brought it to the attorneys. They got it taken care of, and it transferred title into their names, and now they have an additional I believe it's 2 acres. That was the craziest because it was so unconventional. It wasn't a sale. They weren't paying for this property. It was being donated, but also it was for, again, no cost. But we couldn't even do it with a local municipality who was used to having calls like this from banks. These were completely residential individuals who were not used to getting these calls, and we had to walk them through what this looked like and why it was legitimate and what the bank was just trying to do and how the local municipalities didn't want it, and that, again, this was a legitimate situation and the banks just wanted this off of their books. So that was the craziest when it came to process, when it came to the clients. They were great, thank goodness, but in regards to walking them through it, and then having a bank on the other side is always a little bit crazy. So craziest sale in terms of unconventional nature. But if you have any questions about bank-owned properties, donations, HUD, things like that when it comes to real property, feel free to reach out. We've done enough with that although we may not be able to answer every question, we can at least answer a lot of them and point you in the right direction if need be. So otherwise, I hope you have a great week. Again, feel free to reach out in any way.